Good morning, Keith Tebow, FRCmedia. Thank you for joining us on this Thursday, and it's time for our weekly check-in with the mayor of the city of Fall River, Mayor Paul Coogan. Mayor, how are you today?
I'm okay, Keith. How about you?
Good. I actually want to start with the weather. Pretty bad storm came through last night, the remnants of what was once Hurricane Ida. There was a lot of rain in Fall River. We've seen some reports of flooding on Route 24. Of course, the regular spots in the city. Any other, damage or other flooding that you may be aware of in terms of what's going to happen to the city overnight?
Yeah, we had two schools closed due to flooding, Laterno and Argosy Charter School, and a street washed out off of Stafford Road, Spencer Street. We had a washout uh, down there. They're fixing it now, or they're down there appraising it. And those were the worst things I heard. There was obviously the usual hot spots of Stafford Square, Plymouth Avenue. Those flooded out a little bit too. But other than that, the city seemed to get through pretty well.
And the situation up off Stafford Road, is that the road washed out? Because I did see some video this morning in Portsmouth, Rhode Island. There were some streets that actually were buckled by the water. Do you know the severity of that damage?
No, it's not. Well, I saw that Portsmouth piece too. It was not that bad. It's more of a section. I think that, like I said, it washed out and they have it closed. And Paul Furlan had called me and told me they were on the way up there, and they had a contractor looking to do an emergency repair. So I'm assuming that's underway.
And it also brings up, you mentioned the other hot spots in the city that have been problems for quite a long time. And I guess that leads me to a brief discussion on the ARPA funding that the city has received. Are those types of projects, those hot spots, you talk about Stafford Square and other locations, that's something that may be able to be addressed with some of that money?
Maybe a portion of it, but for example, Stafford Square, I could take every dollar of the ARPA money we received this year and pour it into Stafford Square and not even cover the repair bill. So there's obviously a lot of pressing issues in the city of Fall River. So we're going to try to move it around a little bit, but water and sewer is going to get a good chunk of the money, and I'm sure that Paul Furlan and his crew will pick the best way to spend it to make the major improvements they need in their water and sewer system. But overall, I mean, water and sewer work in the city can go on for a long time, and the ARPA money will only make a small dent in it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, great day yesterday across the city of Fall River as the public schools opened, the middle and the elementary schools. Durfee High School will be opening next week. Talk about your experience going around some of the schools yesterday and greeting the kids as they got back to in-person learning.
It was very positive. It seemed like the staff and the kids all wanted to get back to school. We ended up bouncing around in the morning. We hit 4 or 5 schools, and then in the afternoon, I ended up visiting Fonseca, taking a walk through down there. And again, I'll try to maybe hit a school again later today. But it's good to see the kids back in classes. I think that that's what they need. I think that's the best method for them to learn in front of a teacher with classmates, and getting their questions answered on the spot. Those are the things I like to see. And there was, really good positive energy in all the schools, and we're ready to get going. I mean, I think we'll be up and running full tilt by next week.
How important is it going to be for the schools to assess, I guess, the learning gaps that came about during students learning remotely? A lot of students may have fallen behind just because of that interaction. I did speak to the superintendent on this. Obviously, this is a moving target because, in effect, each student really needs to be assessed. How important is it to get that moving and get everyone back to where they should be in terms of where they should be learning at their grade level?
Right. I think it's very important. The gaps we're going to hit going forward from this year off of school are going to ripple for the next 5 to 6 years, I think. Those kids that were diligent may be all okay, but there's a bunch of kids that were not diligent, and they're who knows where they're supposed to be right now. The other issue that's going to come piling in on us are the mental health issues, related to a year out of school. I mean, I was reading a story about it the other day. There's a lot of stress that's going to be placed on these buildings right now, both academically, emotionally, and even for the staff. getting everybody back up to that pattern of learning that's so necessary for them to be successful. We're going to do it, and we're going to make sure we stay on the beam, and hopefully we don't get hit with any more shutdowns. But that's going to be a tremendous, tremendous challenge to our staff, our parents, and our students.
Are you expecting any guidance from the state in terms of, like, if there are a number of students that have fallen behind as they're getting back into the routine of in-person learning, the possibility will exist of students needing to be held back. Has there been any guidance yet? I know maybe early in terms of a process that may help the school department make those decisions in terms of students that may need extra help and maybe even need to be held back.
No, not from what I've seen. I know they want the kids back in school, and I know that they're going to have us remediate them in the summer if they need to do some catching up. But I've seen no guidance on anybody being held back.
Yeah. All right. Well, one final note this week. There's another set of vaccination clinics, I believe, at Rite Aid this weekend. Again, the numbers are getting more encouraging. As of last week, the city is now 50% fully vaccinated, according to the State Department of Health. And I know your office has been promoting those vaccination sites this weekend as well. Any updates in terms of infections? I know the city has been somewhat around that 150 infections a week. Anything new to report there?
No, I think that's kind of about where we're sitting right now. And it's just very important now that Pfizer has full approval from the CDC. I think people should be out there getting a vaccination. The more vigorous we fight this battle before people get sick, the better we're going to be. It's just so important. Everywhere I go, I stress get the vaccine, get the vaccine, and I think we can keep people out of the hospital, and obviously we can keep people alive. Those are the two major focuses till we get out the other side of this disease. I was reading a story today about the cycling of the Delta variant, and it's up and down across the country. So let's say a prayer. We're on the downside of that right now.
Yeah. All right, Mayor Paul Coogan, have a great long weekend, and we'll talk next week. I appreciate it.
Okay, thanks, Keith.
All right. And thank you for joining us on FRC Media this week. I'm Keith Tebow. Have a great rest of your Thursday.